Live from the Spero Clinic, Courtney, for your graduation. How long did you have CRPS before coming?
25 years.
25 years!
Yep.
I know so many people are watching this, and you guys have heard on Google everywhere, if you've had it more than a year, you're down the river without a paddle. Is that true?
Not when you come here.
So I want you to talk to me about life before and today.
Life before I have 2 kids was really hard. To have a 6 and 8-year-old and have to take care of them and not want to get out of bed because you're hurting. And life now is going home and jumping on the trampoline with them and being at their soccer practices and no pain.
So they're going to get to know the real you.
Yes.
And they've never met the real you at 6 and 8.
No.
Have they seen you healthy?
I saw them at Christmas. So pretty healthy, but not this good.
Are you flying home or driving home?
Driving.
I wish I was there the second you park that car and they see you walking up the driveway.
I'm going to get them from school. They don't know I'm coming, so the surprise.
Promise me you'll get video of that?
Okay, I will.
Please.
Yeah.
And let's get your therapist up here.
So her first therapist was Katie, and since Katie couldn't be here, we have her flogging stick.
She used to beat me with it. Not really.
In memory of that.
Yes.
So I got Courtney something like 4 or 5 weeks ago or something like that. And Courtney had a kind of renewed sense of like purpose. She was really focused on her goals, and those goals being get back to the farm, get back to the family, play with chickens and cats and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, she stayed focused. We had a lot of days of sore muscles, lots of doing just new movements and new things that she hadn't done in 20 plus years. She had a sheet of goals that was about that long, and I think we checked off pretty much every single one of those.
Yep.
So the determination and the hard work is paying off for you today. Now you get to go home and, like you said, kind of meet your kids again for the first time. So that's a beautiful thing. That's awesome. So
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's your floor, Courtney.
Well, I have a speech, but we kind of covered a lot of it. I'll go fast. Okay. All right. So my story started 25 years ago when I was 10 years old. While running to vault and gymnastics, I avulsed my ischial tuberosity, meaning I tore my sit bone from my pelvis. Doctors told me that the bone should grow back on its own and sent me back to sports after some rest without further testing. I continued pain after this and various injuries to that leg, but tried to push through sports. In 9th grade, while stunting on the sidelines at a football game, I was dropped. My entire leg went into uncontrollable shakes and spasms. New scans revealed the original fracture never healed. Orthopedic surgeons advised an operation would be too risky, and I was told to learn to live with the pain. In 2006, my senior year of high school, my leg buckled while stunting, causing me to collapse. After this, I was unable to control the spasms in my leg and unable to put my foot on the ground flat or walk. My mom dragged me doctor to doctor after being up all hours of the night searching for help, but we quickly lost faith in the medical community. I spiraled downward quickly. I completely stopped walking and was wheelchair bound. I was unable to wear a shoe or sock on my foot, and my body became weaker and weaker. We saw lots of doctors who only prescribed pain meds. I even had one doctor tell me he wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole. In February of 2006, we finally found a trauma surgeon confident enough to do surgery. By this time, we had heard so many things from doctors not believing me that I became mental and actually thought they would cut me open and not find anything wrong. I'm not gonna cry. The surgeon found that the ischial bone had been entrapped, sitting in fluid and slamming my sciatic nerve. The bone was dead, as there had been no blood supply to it for years, so they removed it, scuffing at the remaining pelvic bone to encourage growth and leaving my hamstring only partly attached. After surgery, I had immediate relief despite a new 14-inch incision across my leg and butt. Physical therapy helped me relearn to walk, and I dished all the pain meds on my own. While this felt like the end, it was only the beginning. Several months later, I began having the familiar sharp pain jolt in my sit bone. I started having electrical shock pains throughout my pelvis and feeling as if there was poison pumping through it. More scans revealed new growth of bone fragments in my pelvis. Once again, operation was deemed too risky, and I was told to live with the pain and prescribed more pain pills. We searched for help and explanation as to why the pain was so awful, that yet there was nothing they could do. I was shamed by doctors and told it was all in my head. My mom was shamed by doctors and told she must be doing something to make me want to live in pain. I began to feel very isolated, and no one understood me or how I felt. I felt trapped with no hope. In 2007, our search took us to New York to the Hospital for Special Surgery. This is where I got my official diagnosis of RSD, now better known as CRPS. At the time, all I was told was there was no cure and I would have to learn to live with the pain. No one really had advice or help, and I began to feel even more isolated. In time, my right leg pain mirrored to my left. Then my forearms began to burn. I noticed I couldn't handle the cold, couldn't handle the barometric pressure changes of rain. I tried lumbar sympathetic blocks, more pain meds, and steroids, none of which caused much, if any, pain relief. Then, with lack of faith in the traditional medicine, I tried deep tissue massage, myofascial release, craniosacral therapy, you name it. Again, none of which helped much, if any. General touch became uncomfortable, and I watched people walk away from me with no understanding. I quickly learned to just hide my pain. In 2013, I married my husband. He knew my history to an extent, but by this point, I was a pro masker. We had 2 beautiful babies in 2014 and 2016, which were miracles, as I was once told I wouldn't be able to carry babies. Carrying babies was rough for me, but I had an amazing doctor, somewhat familiar with CRPS, who didn't let me carry full term and treated my pregnancy as a high-risk pregnancy. I thought I had control of what my life with CRPS was going to be. At the end of 2019, trauma struck my family. I began to lose control of what I thought I had over my CRPS. Then in 2021, I was involved in a major car accident in which I took severe seatbelt trauma to my ribs and stomach. CRPS took advantage of my new weak areas and made its move into them. My hands became very weak, and I began dropping things. I had severe rib pain while breathing, and electrical shock pains increased throughout my entire body. My energy decreased, and it took everything in me to get my kids to and from school. I started having severe dehydration issues and needing weekly IV therapy, which became a chore when my veins would consistently blow. I was unable to sleep, and when I did sleep, myoclonic jerks would wake me. I couldn't eat. I got back on pain meds. Loud noises began to make me feel sicker, and lights began affecting me. I spent soccer season for my son, curled in a ball in a chair under a hat and glasses. I could not hold or snuggle my kids. Reluctantly, I began the search for hope. Google graced me with Spero. Seeing how many stories aligned with mine, I reached out. I really struggled with the idea of having to leave my kids and move to Arkansas for 3 to 4 months. I told my mom I would plan to go when the kids were older and I wouldn't miss as much of their lives. Thankfully, I had a smart, strong mama who pointed out that I was already missing everything now. I've heard a lot of descriptions of CRPS, but for me, CRPS was basically like a parasite. I never really knew it until my treatment here, but it consumed me, it owned me, it sucked the life out of me. When you come for it, it moves to a different spot, to a different organ. When you attack it, it fights back. And wow, does it fight hard. I knew this program would be hard. They warn us when we come in, it's not for the weak. But I had no idea the challenges, the roller coaster, and the exhaustion I would experience here. Treatment at Spero is much like those old slip and slides that we make as kids where you throw the tarp on the floor, you run, you slide. It hurts like you wouldn't believe. Slide over the sticks and rocks, and at the end of it, you're exhausted and you hurt. But somehow you get back in line for another turn with hope. I mean, if we can handle 4 days of NMR for 4 months, you can probably conquer the world, right? When I came in, my full body pain was ranging from 7 to 8 at all times, with flares going higher. I couldn't wear socks without increased pain, and the only shoes I could wear were these really ugly sandals, which Bryce made fun of me for wearing when I came in. Let's see, I was eating maybe 1 meal a day and laying in bed every chance I could. There were days I didn't think I would make it to pick my kids up from school. At the end of my 3rd week here at Spero and NMR, I hit my first full body 0. I remember stating, I just can't feel my entire body, and Katie looking at me with wide eyes, just waiting for it to register. I mean, it's just all numb, I said. So you feel no pain then, she asked. I looked at her confused for a bit and said, you mean this is what 0 feels like? She responded, that's what no pain feels like. It was the strangest feeling and almost abnormal to me. It was short-lived that time, only lasting a couple of minutes, but it was the first couple of minutes of no pain in 25 years. That meant it was possible, and that was my first real glimpse of hope. I'm happy to share after 16 weeks of living in Arkansas, having treatment, I'm off all my meds and standing here telling you I have zero pain. That's not to say I don't have times of pain or flukes, like one of the genius patients here named it, but I am able to bring those back down to zero with the tools I've learned here. For me, all experiences are really new and different. I've never been an adult without CRPS dictating my life. It's the simple things for me, like food tasting better, touch feeling different, my mind being more at ease, and just everything feeling like a first-time experience. I can't wait to make up for all the lost hugs that I've missed with my loved ones. Now I can officially say I have CRPS, but CRPS does not have me. And I have a few thank yous. First, my parents. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Not only financially, but you guys took on two rambunctious kids 100% while I was gone. You drove them 40 minutes to and from school every day and always put them as a priority like I asked, so I could just focus on getting well and getting back to them. On top of that, you watched my house and animals while I was here. I love you both so much. Thanks for never doubting my pain and always believing me. Mom, thanks for never giving up and finding hope for the past 25 years. Now you both just get to be Nana and Baba. To Brian, my husband, thank you for the many nights you held me feeling hopeless while I cried, shook, and screamed in pain and anxiety. I don't think I actually would have made it through those nights without you. And thank you for changing careers to be able to let me ease back into work whenever I get home and have some time with the kids. To my kids, Keaton and Cora, no 6 and 8-year-old should ever have to watch their mom in excruciating pain. It breaks my heart remembering the days I couldn't hold and play with you. The days you had to make your own mac and cheese because I was too sick to cook. The days you took care of me instead of me taking care of you. I can't wait to make up for all of that. Wayne and Missy, my Airbnb hosts, I couldn't have asked for more caring people to have next door to me. Thanks for always offering to bring me food, offering rides to the clinic, checking on me, and brushing the snow and ice off this Texas girl's car numerous times. To everyone back home who has prayed and donated, to Kayla, Kelsey, Kyle, my church family, Family Fellowship of Greenville, can't thank you all enough. To the patients and their families in this room and all the ones that left before me, isolation of 25 years with not a single person understanding me affected my life so much, but from day one at this clinic, that was all gone. When Dr. K refers to the waiting room as her secret sauce, that is no joke. I literally had no idea I would be not only accepted and understood, but would make long-lasting friendships. Words can't express how much I love you all and miss you. You are a vital part of my healing, even on my worst days. When I was hiding my face in tears, I couldn't go without a hug or message or encouraging word. Rooting for all of your continued hearing, and you will always be my Spero family. To the staff back here, it is apparent that the staff is handpicked for their compassion to help others, but also the personality to handle the hopeless, crying, angry, and emotional moments each of us feel through this journey. It can't be easy working day in and day out with patients of chronic pain that are literally fighting for their lives and looking for that reason to keep going. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all. To the team of doctors, Dr. K, Dr. B, Dr. Lauren, Dr. T, Dr. Lucas, Dr. H, thank you for giving hope to the hopeless and always looking to help even the hardest of cases. You all troubleshoot with us, you make us feel heard and understood, which is huge after years of doctors not listening and having no advice for us. You make this place safe, a safe place for all of us, and are not only changing lives but saving them. The NMR staff. First I had Katie. In the beginning I wasn't all that sure how to take you. I was actually pretty positive I answered all your questions wrong when you responded with, "That's disgusting." But I think I got you figured out in time, despite the fact that you don't know the meaning of Texas country. Thanks for never failing to ask me, "Is this your song?" when the most random song would come on. When they moved me from you, I about lost it thinking about what home records the scheduling crew was. And then I had Bryce for a day. I was pretty much terrified after hearing about the Bryce horror stories in the waiting room. But how can he possibly spin that ARP dial any faster than Katie? But I knew we'd get along when I saw the pile of egg cartons under your desk. Even though you only had me a day, you chased down my x-rays and talked to the doctors to let me know the best way to approach the fragments in my pelvis to achieve remission. You even managed to let me know I was no longer a fish since I wasn't responding to the freezing weather anymore, wherever you were. Then I had Travis. I couldn't have chosen a better therapist to escort me to the finish line. In our first session, you kicked my butt and managed to give me a full body zero that lasted most of 2 days. You took the poison filling in my pelvis, replaced it with the route from the stem, and made it disappear. when I was at my worst coming off meds, you responded to an email at 8 p.m. at night with reassurance. I took my first pain-free run with you in 20 plus years, and I'll never forget that. You got creative with me at the end when I finally felt low enough to give you sass and tell you I was dictating our NMR sessions. But you never failed to crank up the dial until it got a bit spicy. Thank